Yo, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet Violet VGC video. I'm your host, Jose Rocks. Today we have another episode of Journey Through VGC. The current format we in is Regulation D. Y'all ready? Let's get into it. Alright, we are back in the laboratory with another team. So this is going to be the Ursaluna team that I posted in one of my shorts. So this is the full complete set of it. So this team is pretty much based around Trick Room, but it has a very fast mode. Well, not really fast, but a mode that plays outside of Trick Room, right? So you're not just stuck playing Trick Room. And I kind of feel like that's the best way to play Trick Room in this format right now. Hard Trick Room teams, while they can be good, it can be completely like hard shut down by teams that know how to deal with hard Trick Room teams. And this kind of makes your opponent have to, somewhat guess like what he's going to lead against or how to deal with this team. So that's, kind of the reason behind my process when I was building it. So starting off with Ursaluna, it is a typical Flame Orb Guts Ursaluna set, but some things that mine has different is that it does not have Earthquake. I did feel like I didn't have enough partners to Earthquake next to. You find out that I'm in Trick Room a lot of times alongside Iron Hands and Flutter Mane, more so than Cresselia. Although Cresselia would be good to Earthquake next to, I just kind of felt like Headlong Rush was a little bit better. So that's kind of why I went with that. If you do want to make any changes to this team, you probably could change that to Earthquake. But in my opinion, I like Headlong Rush. Then we have Facade and Shadow Claw. So Shadow Claw is really good for hitting the Ghost types that want to Tera in the Ghost in front of Ursaluna. And with the Ghost typing, we also become immune to Fighting type coverage, right? Which is one of our weaknesses. And we also make, water and grass neutral as well as ice, which is really good into like Ursaluna's survivability, right? And then also you get your Shadow Claw Stab. And Stab Shadow Claw under Guts boosted and with a high chance to crit is just a really powerful move, right? And in a lot of the matches that I played with this time, I've had times where I use Shadow Claw just to pick up a one-hit KO on something that's neutral against it just because I get a critical hit, right? But you're giving yourself, by using Shadow Claw, you're giving yourself more opportunities to hit crits. So the next set is going to be Cresselia. So this is Fairy Tera Cresselia. I feel like there are some other good Teras on Cresselia, whether it's, I've seen the Rocky Helmet Water Tera pop up pretty recently to kind of counter Urshifu itself and then just hit it back with a Moonblast. And I've seen, Dark Tera to get around taunts. Prankster Taunt from Tornadus with Covert Cloak, so you can't be taunted or faked out, which is pretty consistent in getting Trick Room up. But I wanted to go with the Mental Herb. I feel like a lot of cases, people still try to taunt Cresselia and hope that I don't have Mental Herb, but then like Mental Herb just completely wins me the game. As well as like I got Encored in one game, and I completely forgot because I'm not used to using Cresselia, so I completely forgot that I was able to break out of Encore with Mental Herb, and I panicked a little bit, but it ended up breaking right out of it and getting Trick Room up, and I was just in a really good position from that point. And then we have so the remaining moves on it, and also when you tear in the Fairy, you get stab boost on your Moonblast, which is same type attack bonus is what stab stand for. Same type attack bonus, but you get stab on the Moonblast. Lunar Blessing just this new signature move to heal it up and heal status conditions. Ally Switch, because Ally Switch can somewhat win you a game when you're in a bad spot and you're outside of Trick Room and you don't have any more options and you can't really successfully get a Trick Room up with Cresselia, right? And so moving on to Iron Hands is a pretty standard Regulation B and Regulation C Iron Hands set. Just Grass Tera to get rid of that, the ground weakness, the fairy weakness, the psychic weakness, just most of those weaknesses, and just into some other weakness. You get new weaknesses, but usually you're not weak to those on your original typing, so it's it's a good trade-off. And just being immune to, not immune, but resisting the ground type coverage is just really good for Iron Hands, right? And then we have Heavy Slam to just remove Pokemon that are kind of weak to Steel types or kind of like small Pokemon, because Iron Hands is a very heavy Pokemon. So Heavy Slam coming off this Pokemon does a lot of damage, especially to like even like Amoonguss. It's actually your better option against Amoonguss to deal more damage to it if it doesn't Tera. And you pretty much can remove Enamorus, you remove Chien-Pao once the sash is broken, you remove Flutter Mane. So that's the idea behind Iron Hands. Then we have the Assault Vest. This is also a throwback Flutter Mane set to Regulation B. In Regulation C, you saw a lot of choice specs and booster energy Flutter Manes, But originally in Regulation B, when Flutter Mane first came out, a lot of people were using it similar to Meowscarada, right? With the Focus Sash, it's like a better Meowscarada. So you had the Focus Sash and Trick Room, right? And that allows you to like counter like fast offensive teams, which were like the Talonflame and the Murkrow teams that were popping up. And this allows you to like reverse the, the speed tiers, and then you're able to outspeed them under Trick Room. So I'm kind of bringing that set back with the Dazzling Gleam and the Fairy Tera. This Flutter Mane is really consistent at getting Trick Room up next to Iron Hands, as long as there's not a Ghost Tera, a random Ghost Tera on the other team, or 2 Ghost types in front of you, or Covert Cloak. And I know that's saying a couple things, but those things are so rare to both be on the field at the same time that, Flutter Mane can always successfully get Trick Room up with his Focus Sash. And then what I like to do is like hard switching to Ursaluna. A lot of times people like go for like Sucker Punch or things like that to try to finish off Flutter Mane at 1 HP. And I just get Ursaluna in for free and get his Flame Wheel activated, right? So that's just another way that I like to set up Trick Room with this team. And Flutter Mane, even on 1 HP, when it comes back in and Trick Room's over, is still, a really good Pokemon. If you gotten rid of their priority attackers, then you still can get like powerful Dazzling Gleams off and like just finish things off that are already chipped down, right? Which is really valuable. And it's also like our only spread damage on the team. Like I said, you could exchange the Headlong Rush for Earthquake to give you another spread damage move. So another interesting core of this team is the Gothitelle Urshifu. So leading these two, I actually haven't really led anything else with Gothitelle yet while using this team, but I may do it in a second video. But just leading these two and being able to go for Choice Scarf, Surging Strikes, Water Tera with Helping Hand, and they cannot switch out, is really powerful, right? And then you also have ways to deal with Amoonguss where you can taunt the Amoonguss and Psychic it down, and it can't switch out, so you can kind of remove it before it has chance to go for the Regenerator proc. And a lot of the times these Amoonguss are Rocky Helmet, so they can't take 2 Psychics, right? Psychic is usually 2-hit KO because I put a little bit of special attack investment on Gothitelle, as well as making it pretty bulky with the Citrus Berry, right? And then we also have Steel Terror on it just to help you survive against like priority Dragonite and things like that, in case they want to try to remove Gothitelle early to break the trap. You do have that Steel Terror to protect you from there. And then of course we have Fake Out. Sorry about that. We have Fake Out, which is really good next to Urshifu, because they can't protect in front of Urshifu and they can't stop the Fake Out. You can pretty much KO things turn 1 if they lead wrong into this team. And a lot of the times people lead wrong into this team because they're trying to stop the Iron Hands Cresselia lead. A lot of people don't really predict the Iron Hands Flutter Mane lead, which is why it's so good. They see the Iron Hands Cresselia and they try to stop that lead so Ursaluna can't sweep. And then they kind of just fall to Urshifu Gothitelle, right? Because they led wrong and they don't have any switch ins. They can't switch out. They didn't lead any resistances into Urshifu, so you can just pick up 1-hit KOs. Most of the time when you turn the water, a lot of things can't one-shot Urshifu unless it's super effective. So then you can get another Surging Strikes off again the next turn or two, the opponent next to it, right? And then you could just come in with Iron Hands and Flutter Mane and sweep in the end game, right? And I kind of like to leave with that core. There's been times where I've brought Cresselia, Ursaluna, or Flutter Mane, Ursaluna in the back behind Urshifu Gothitelle. But it's very rare that I bring Cresselia and Gothitelle to the same match because they're kind of passive. And even though they deal damage with Psychic and Moonblast, if it's not really super effective, it's not dealing much damage, right? So I try to refrain from bringing both of them. So a lot of the times you'll see me go with the Flutter Mane Iron Hands core with Urshifu Ursaluna, or Ursaluna Cresselia in the back, right? Or the Gothitelle Urshifu lead with Iron Hands Flutter Mane, or Iron Hands Ursaluna, or Ursaluna Flutter Mane. So those are kind of the cores that I like to go with. And the remaining moves on this Urshifu is, typical close combat, Ice Spinner for coverage. Since with Choice Scarf, we have enough space to put that on our move set, so we can kind of deal with those grass types or like Amoonguss in case you're in an end game to where you need to just pick up a little bit of damage, but you can't KO with Surging Strikes, right? And then U-turn, so you can just pivot out and get into a more decent spot. Sometimes I felt like Trick Room would have been a decent on Gothitelle, because I've seen times where I can just U-turn into Ursaluna for free and Fake Out with, and Trick Room with Gothitelle and pretty much get Ursaluna on the Trick Room that way. But I did want Gothitelle to not really be a Trick Room type mon. Even though it can play in Trick Room, I wanted it to be able to like kind of deal with other Trick Room teams to stop them from setting up with Taunt, and it kind of just helped Urshifu sweep. And I feel like the Helping Hand was a lot better for Urshifu picking up certain KOs that on bulkier Pokemon while I'm Water Tera, just Surging Strikes. that I wanted to pick up that I really couldn't pick up without the helping hand, right? And then I didn't want to drop a damaging move, so I kind of wanted Psychic because it helps me like deal chip damage to things, especially against Amogus and Urshifu. Psychic is really good into those, it's good into Iron Hand. So, and then the taunt is just really powerful. You'll see in some of these videos, like I completely shut down a team when they're trying to like do things and they can't with Amogus or stuff like that because I just taunted it. And taunt is like really good on Gothitelle. So that's the idea behind this team. If you want to try it out, there is a rental code at the top right as well as a Pokepaste in the description below. And let's get into these battles. Ooh, so we have the Ursaluna Crest Mirror with Flutter Mane, Chi-Yu, Dragonite, Chenpao. So I kind of like my Flutter Mane Iron Hands on lead. Ursaluna plus Urshifu in the back. I guess Gothitelle could be decent here, but Flutter Mane most likely is probably going to come out on lead. But I like the threat of mines, because I threaten damage and trickle. Right, so my opponent is ready as well. Let's see what he brings out. Alright, Ursaluna plus Iron Hands. I mean Ursaluna and Flutter Mane against my Iron Hands Flutter Mane. So she's a special attacking Flutter Mane. We really don't need tricking here. He may protect Ursaluna turn 1. He actually should. Oh, he's gonna tear it. Is it Ghost? I was so close to clicking Shadow Ball into that slot. Yeah, but if he's going for Trick Room here, then he's just gonna get knocked out. Because I'm not going for Trick Room because I got Scarf Urshifu in the back. And if he's playing like this, he may have Chi-Yu in the back. But it's possible it may be Dragonite Chenpao, but we'll see. Flutter Mane should be going down this turn. Chenpao is kind of scary in the back since Grass Tera. Oh, he's doubling my Flutter. So we both lose our Flutter this turn. Yeah, that's how he went ahead and went for the Ghost Tera, because it's very unlikely that I just go for a Shadow Ball turn 1. Oh. It's a Sword Stance. Trick Room is actually pretty scary right here. I do a Shadow Claw on my Ursaluna. He may protect Ursaluna. Yeah. So we're both going for Trick Room. I kind of think I want to double the Crest. It's likely that Ursaluna switches out here. And if he switches into Chi-Yu, then that puts me in a really good spot. This is a hard read though. I'm being in a really bad spot if he doesn't switch it out. But I feel like he should, right? The threat of Shadow Ball into that slot is just... Oh, this just worked out perfect. That just worked out perfect. Well, you gotta keep that in mind, guys, when you're using Cresselia in this format. There's ally switches back, and it does like to go for it. But I was more threatened by the of Trick Room going up, right? So Ursaluna just came in, Terra, pretty much didn't do anything. Right. So he can only KO one, so I kind of want to double it. That might not even KO. Yep. I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving this turn with something. That's fine. As long as we don't flinch here, then we pretty much win the game. Cresselia is pretty annoying, but it can't 1v3, even with the Rocky helmet. And we don't flinch. Perfect. Yeah, so that turn that I went, you know, doubled up into the Cresselia was me just, you know, kind of reading the switch out in the Chi-Yu, but he didn't even have Chi-Yu, so that's why he didn't switch. So I get why he went for the ally switch, but that wasn't a complete ally switch call, like how I did in the Armarouge video, the last one I posted. But it was still pretty similar because I wanted to target that slot, so it all worked out in the end. But it's funny because in the previous video that I posted, I knew that he was gonna go for the ally switch, and I just targeted that slot. But he hadn't revealed it yet. All right, so we just click damage. We just keep it low. Once Ursaluna comes in, even if it KOs my Urshifu, we just win with Facade, right? The Rocky helmet is pretty annoying though. Oh, he didn't even go for Lunar Blessing, so. So we get this one. So we didn't have to reveal Ursaluna in the back. So our finals. So he's not sure if we had Cress, Gothitelle, or Ursaluna. He could probably deduce that it was Ursaluna, but a Rocky Helmet is strong on Cress though. It is able to 1v1 Urshifu like that. But that was a good match. Let's get into these next battles. Alright, we have Among Us for Landorus, Urshifu, Flutter Mane, Iron Hands, and Golden Boy. So Among Us is pretty good here, so I think I want to go with the Gothitelle Urshifu lead. And Taunt Among Us. Then I go with my own Flutter Mane in the back plus Iron Hands. I think I like Ursaluna better in the back. We know Among Us is coming for sure. We know Gholdengo's probably coming. And possibly Iron Hands Flutter Mane. Or Iron Hands Urshifu. Can't bring everything. Alright, so what's he gonna send out first? It is Urshifu plus Flutter Mane, okay. So I want to go after the Urshifu because I feel like Flutter Mane may switch into Among Us. Oh, there's no switch. Okay. Alright, so we get this Tera off. This should be a KO into Urshifu. We can't protect. So he might have been going for the one-hit KO on Gothitelle. Oh, he can't switch. Well, he can't switch Flutter Mane. It's the Ghost Tera. So we always knew that we can KO Urshifu here. I'm very surprised he didn't go for the switch on Flutter Mane. That's a good play by him. May just be Shadow Ball into Gothitelle. What are we going for? Oh, just Gleam. Okay. It's a lot of damage. Right, there's Among Us. I don't want to stay in here right now. Among Us always rage powders here. But I think if I can get the Trick Room off, I'll be in a good spot. Oh, he didn't even protect. Oh, that's just gonna cost him the game right there. I mean, he didn't even rage powder. I meant, my apologies. Yeah, that's just a hard read. And now it taunt the Among Us, so he can't do anything. And I could bring my Flutter Mane in and just go for Trick Room and switch out into Ursaluna. Unless he's Mental Herb. Are you Mental Herb? Oh, nope. And now he's stuck in taunted, so there's Iron Hands. Alright, so you're never going for Drain Punch into this slot, right? Yeah, I can get these two in. Actually, I don't have to switch here. I can just start tagging down Among Us. And he just forfeits. Nice. I got to tell Urshifu lead is powerful. I think my opponent misplayed there by not going for the Rage Powder. I'm pretty sure he's Rocky Helmet. That was a greedy spore. Ooh, so we have Dondozo. Have not seen that much in Regulation D. He has the Dragonite Gem Power combo plus the Flutter Mane Chiyu combo. So this is just a series, a Regulation C team, pretty much. And it was good then. It's still pretty good now. Urshifu Gem Powers seems like a bit of an issue, right? But if he doesn't leave that, then does the Dragonite just one-shot my Urshifu with E-Speed? I think it does, so I don't think I can afford to lead that. I think we'll go with this. Or maybe Crest was better. We'll see. If it's Urshifu, Chien-Pao Dragonite, then I led properly. I could have really punished this Chiyu right here. But we can get triple him up here. That's a good protect. I could have faked out the Chiyu there and got a free Trick Room. But I feel like Dondozo was a little bit more annoying. You should switch out Chiyu back into Tatsugiri, potentially. And then Earthquake. If he stays in with Chiyu and just Heat Waves, then that's an incredible play. But I don't expect my opponent to make that play. But he's not switching Chiyu. Oh, he is. He's Scarf. Okay. All right. So we didn't get baited into targeting that slot. There's Heat Tera here. Otherwise, I could have just went for Thunder Punch, right? Alright, here's our Tera. If he goes into Steel Tera, that'll be beautiful. think we have enough damage here to to do a lot to Dondozo. Show me that Steel Terror. Ground. Ooh. Okay. But we didn't get baited into a Thunder Punch. Ground is scary. Because that just makes his Earthquake stronger. Ground Terror is really good into Iron Hands. Is it less than 50? Wow, that's a lot of damage. His Life Orb, okay. That does make him weak to Trick Room. I mean, my Urshifu in the back. So my Scarf Urshifu is looking pretty good here. So I kind of want to stall out my own Trick Room just a little bit. Okay, so he's stalling it out too. Because I want my Urshifu to be able to come in and just click Surging Strikes into that and get rid of it. 2 turns left. Alright, here's Big Facade. That's nice damage, though. So if I can time this properly, and get Urshifu in, and I can KO Tatsugiri along with he should protect here, right? Because he should know that Iron Hands can KO Dozo, and then Flutter Mane can KO Tatsugiri. So he should protect here. So I want to get in Urshifu, so I outspeed him next turn and protect. Because now I'll outspeed my Flutter Mane and knock out Dozo and still knock out the Tatsugiri this next turn. Yes, we got it. Okay. That's what we wanted to do. And now we still have Fake Out with Iron Hands in the back. And we know that that she used Choice Scarf. So Resurgent Strikes here. And then we Dazzle. And that should be a double KO. And we resist both of Chiyu's stabs, so it shouldn't be able to KO. So we can protect Flutter Mane and KO Chiyu. And actually, Tatsugiri should be Focus Sash here, right? Oh, it's bulky enough to take that. But that Chiyu is definitely Choice Scarf because my Flutter Mane is max speed and I switched out before it under Trick Room. Chiyu should have switched first, right? Alright, is this the final one? Alright, there's Chiyu. Does Chiyu have a switch here? It's gotta be Flutter Mane in the back. Does Tatsugiri KO my Urshifu right here? I think it may. I don't wanna lose my Flutter Mane here. If Tatsugiri can't KO Urshifu with one hit, then we're in a decent spot. Oh, and he flamethrower, so we don't take any chip. Yep. Alright, so Chi's gone. It comes down to if Tatsugiri can KO my Urshifu. And as long as he's not boosting energy, Flutter Mane in the back. I put a little bit of HP investment because I'm not max speed. Oh, I should definitely survive that. It's not Draco Meteor. Yep, okay. So that's about 80 base power. Draco Meteor is 120, correct? So that may have been enough to KO me. Are you special attack or speed? Speed hurts here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can even afford to switch out. Is that a double KO? Oh, okay. My Flutter Mane survives. Nice. Alright, we should have this because a Dazzling shouldn't KO my Iron Hands. With the Assault Vest, we should be able to survive. So we just Heavy Slam here and Shadow Ball there. Nice. Whew. Switching out the Iron Hands, that play really helped me win this game. Let's go. That was a really good match. Beautiful match. I think we could have faked out the Chi-Yu turn 1, but I had a fear that it might be Tera Ghost, so that's why I didn't go for the fake out on it. But if I had faked it out turn 1 and I didn't take any chip on Iron Hands or Flutter Mane, I would have been in a much better spot, and I still would have had my Focus Sash intact on Flutter Mane. And I could have played a little bit more like safe. But let's get into the next one. So for our next match, well, we have the Overquill Rain team. But it doesn't have Chien-Pao next to it, so if it does have Self-Destruct, we can easily get a Trick Room here. Yeah, I like this. If he didn't have Rillaboom, I could go with Gothitelle Urshifu. But he does, right? And I bring Flutter Mane. I don't think Urshifu, because he trans most likely Grass Tera. I don't know how good that'll be. Alright, so let's see what he leads with. Flutter Mane. So this is an explosion strat. Would you be Tera Ghost? I don't think so. Could be in prison on Flutter Mane. Leading in Flutter Mane, it may be in prison. Now that I think about it. Oh, it's just green. Oh, that was a cover for me tearing into grass. Alright, so we take a KO and get up tripping. That's the perfect turn. That's sometimes the benefit of not going for fake out with Iron Hands, even though you have it. Because a lot of times teams just don't really play around the fact that you can just not click it and just KO something. Especially like in front of a Flutter Mane. And Flutter Mane are usually not Focus Sash these days. Mine's is, but most of them are not. They're either booster energy or like choice specs. Or I've even seen some life for more than Focus Sash. Alright, so here's a fake out here. I think this is a free switch into my Ursaluna and Lunar Blessing. And he's not gonna go for Explosion next to his own. I think he's choice banned Gunk Shot though, so we resist that if he does go for that into Ursaluna. So we heal back up. We get Ursaluna in for free. There's a gun. Maybe choice band damage. I do think I want a Tera here. I think Rillaboom's gonna switch into Heatran. But I feel like Overcool is not doing much here. So I'm gonna Tera here, go for this. That should be a 2-hit KO on the Heatran regardless. Lunar Blessing. Okay, he doesn't Tera, so if he's just locked into Gunk Shot, then we're in a really good spot because the Ghost resists poison, right? So both of our typings resist the poison. I believe Ghost resists poison. Oh, he has Protect. Okay. So that's going into Heatran next turn. Okay, so he's not locked in the choice band Gunk Shot. Okay. All right, I really need to start picking up KOs here. Rillaboom should switch here. I'm not gonna keep targeting it down. Well, it doesn't switch, okay. So he's waiting for the free switch in into something. If he targets Ursaluna, I'm gonna switch it out this turn. Okay. Alright, so he has protect, so he could go for the double protect. Urshifu Dark. Okay, that gets Sucker Punch. Urshifu Dark is a good one to have here. We should have taken KO Rillabone. Actually, I think I can ally switch here. Or maybe I should have went for Facade. Ah, that's a good play. That's a good play. Could have just facaded the Rillabone. It really didn't even protect. That's insane that it didn't protect. Yeah, this is always a double KO regardless. So even though we got the successful ally switch. That's when ally switch can hurt you sometime, right? But we are getting more and more chip onto Rillabone. The protect on Rillabone really slowed down my sweep a lot. And he still hasn't Terra'd yet. I don't think Rillabone protects here. Let's get Trick on back up. I think my Iron Hands alone can win this game for me. And if he protects Urshifu right here, we're in a really good spot. I mean, he still has Terra. There's a Terra. Should be on Urshifu, right? Are you poison still? Ghost poison. Okay. That's actually the worst Terra for us to see here. I'm looking for a Sucker Punch. Alright, so we keep our Sash. I don't think he doubles into the Flutter Mane. The Poison Terror is really strong here. This is a really close game. I do feel like I made a misplay. I should have went for the switch when I called it. How much is this stuff? Okay. So we do get attack off here. My opponent's always gonna Wicked Blow Flutter Mane slot. I don't know if I can get around that though. Oh, you went for Sucker Punch on this slot. Wow, so Shadow Ball just KOs here. I might be in a decent spot. Well, I'll win the game actually. Okay. Oh yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. Well played. Alright, so Urshifu, Garchomp, Murkrow, I haven't seen those two all season. Iron Bundle, Golden Boy, and Flutter Mane. Alright. Man, I kind of like leading my Urshifu plus Gothitelle. He does have 2 switch outs. I like this lead because if he leads the Flutter Mane, then I can just go for Tera and remove it. Yeah. Urshifu plus Flutter Mane. So this Terry Fair. Fairy Tera. Trick Room. Surging Strikes. Oh, you Water Tera in prison. I could have went Surging Strikes into the other Urshifu, but I would have to Tera it, right? I seen a crazy Water Tera Rocky Helmet. He's Scarf too. Okay. Yeah, this definitely would have KO'd had he not Tera. But at least it's not Rocky Helmet, so another one will KO. And if you're just going for Gleam here, and I'm in a really good spot. He just blew his Tera to just survive that. It is in prison. Okay. So good thing is we can get a double KO here. If he doesn't switch anything. And then we just go for triple next turn. But Goldengo may switch in here for the Urshifu. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we knew that was coming. That's a good switch, man. I should have. My opponent's playing really good, but I still think I'm in a good spot. Funny enough. I should have targeted the other way around. Oh, I can just probably click Trick Room here. I think I can just get Trick Room up here. Since we got the special attack drop. Oh my God. Oh, I'm mental herb, so I get Trick Room up. I totally forgot about that. I forgot about my own item. Okay, so we do survive. Now we get Ursaluna in, and then we just start sweeping. We know that he doesn't have a switch into Drain Punch on this slot. And then goes at -1. Oh, he just cancels. Nice. He did everything he could to try to stop Trick Room from going up. I totally forgot that Mental Herb removes Encore as well. That special attack drop was huge, though. I think we needed that. But his team is really weak to Trick Room. He did his absolute best to deny it. Alright, Annihilate Mousehold. Grimmsnarl, Torkoal, Ursaluna, Cresselia. Well, Urshifu's good here, except for the Torkoal being there, right? I think leading this and just removing Mousehold if it's on lead is good. Now I kind of want to bring my Ursaluna in the back in my Iron Hands because he look like he wants Trick Room more than me. How good is Flutter Mane? It's good into the Annihilate if it doesn't Terra. And Iron Hands is weak to his Ursaluna, so I kind of want to bring Flutter Mane instead and kind of deny Trick Room, but have my Ursaluna just in case. So I kind of just want to try to remove his Mousehold turn 1. gonna go for the Helping Hand. He can't switch it. He could go for Ghost Tera, but it's still gonna KO it. As long the only downside is as long as it's not Rocky Helmet. I think we're in a good spot. Also, this could be Final Gambit Population Bomb, which is pretty scary. Because if he's max speed on Annihilate, then he may outspeed me. He is going for a Terror. What Terror are you going for? Ghost, okay. So that helps him get around the Fake Out, right? But we weren't even going for Fake Out. That's twice this episode my opponent has tried to bait me into faking out the Ghost Tera. Ooh, they did a lot. He is Rocky Helmet though. Okay. He didn't go for Follow Me either. I think it's just Rage Fist here, right? Yeah. But he was definitely going for Beat Up. Alright, that's his next mine. Cresselia. So it's definitely Torkoal in the back. Torkoal just sweep here? If he switches it in, it's going to take a lot of damage. Does he switch it in here? I think he does. Oh, he doesn't. If he's mental herb here, then I'll probably just lose. He just went for bulk up. If he's not mental herb here, I'm in a good spot. Yeah, okay. How do I stall out Trick Room? I don't know if Helping Hand Surgeon Strikes would have KO'd Cresselia there. It would have been close. Psychic doesn't get the KO there. If he targets... How many turns are left? Nice. Alright. It might be another lunar blessing here. This is a chance to reverse trip him though. But I am stalling it out. Oh, so he just went for Moonblast. Okay. Okay, what's coming in? It's got to be Torkoal, right? All right, there's the Torkoal. Alright, so we get our burn activated. So we could potentially KO Torkoal after we protect. That's decent damage. Alright, that doesn't do too much. Special attack drop doesn't matter there. There's the burn. So we protect this last turn. He may switch out into Annihilate, but then I can just bring out Flutter Mane if he switches this out. Let's go for another Psychic. Can protect. He may switch out Cress for Annihilate. But Annihilate is not going to kill Ursaluna because it can't hit me with Rage Fist and it doesn't have any stacks on his Drain Punch. Okay, there's Eruption. That doesn't even KO. That shouldn't KO either. Yep. So now we just go helping. He could switch out into did this taunt in? It did. So we're gonna taunt it again. And Shadow Claw and start chipping it. Okay, well, Torkoal just gets knocked out here then. Alright, so does Helping Hand Facade KO Cress? Well, it'd actually have a guaranteed win if I just go for Taunt and KO Annihilate, right? Because if he protects Annihilate but goes for Trick Room, then we taunt Cresselia. And if he KOs if he KOs Gothitelle, then we just KO him with a Shadow Ball. I mean Shadow Claw. Okay. So he went for the middle ground play. But mine's covered for whatever he could have did, because I didn't have to risk the Helping Hand Facade not KOing. Because if he attacks and KOs Gothitelle, oh, I didn't expect that. But we taunt it now, so there's no way he can get Trick Room back up. And Sun's gonna expire soon. Yeah. there goes Annihilate. So the play, like I said, the play I went for covers it for him attacking and KOing Gothitelle, so I can't taunt. But he can get Trick Room up, but I'll have KO'd Annihilate, so he doesn't really have anything to sweep with it. And if had he just protected Annihilate and tried to Trick Room, then I would have taunted Cresselia. So that's why I went for that play. And now you're taunted, so you got a Moonblast, and now we just helping him for side. I hope he stays in. I want to see if this KOs. But he doesn't. Alright, well, I think these matches went pretty well. I really do like this team. I've been in my bag lately with the team building. The other teams were a little bit, more creative, just using a little more niche Pokemon. But I feel like this team is a lot more consistent. And it kind of prevents my opponent from like playing the way they want to play or just hyper offense sweeping. So I really do think this is one of my best teams I made. Probably the second best team behind my my Dragonite Chimpow team. But I really do like it. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna pull up a Reno again for you, just so if anyone wants to try it out, you'll see the Reno up at the top. Well, here we are. So here's the Reno again. Just like in the beginning of the video, this team is really fun. It is consistent. It's not solely relied on Trick Room. Like I said, you've seen a couple times where I just went the opposite of Trick Room, where I just went Urshifu, Flutter Mane, Gothitelle, plus Ursaluna or Iron Hands. And sometimes I went full Trick Room with them in the back. But I do like how the Urshifu Gothitelle kind of causes them to make decisions turn one, right? Because you can just lock something in and they can't protect it from the Urshifu. And Choice Scarf, Adamant, certain strikes just does a lot of damage to whatever's in there, right? And then you can easily get up Trick Room, like with Cresselia in the back if you want to lead that, or Flutter Mane. The bulky Cresselia and Mental Herb is really consistent at getting Trick Room off. The Flutter Mane being Ghost type and having the Focus Sash plus Fake Out next to it is really consistent at getting Trick Room up as well. And the thing about Gothitelle is a lot of them expect it to have Trick Room, but it's actually not the Trick Room part of this team. But it does really well next to Urshifu. And also, like, I didn't even try the combo yet, but you could lead Gothitelle along with like Cresselia to get a Trick Room, but that's kind of passive. But you can also lead it next to like Flutter Mane and just like knock out things that may do well into Urshifu Rapid Strikes, right? So there's just a couple different leads that you can go with. This team is really flexible. It doesn't have the Fire, Water, Grass balance, but I still do think it's pretty strong. So let me know with a comment below if you enjoyed these matches, and if you like this team, you want to try it out. There's the rental code up at the top, as well as a Pokepaste down and below for anyone who wants to play it on Showdown. And I will catch you all in the next one. All right, deuces.